Ernesto Guevara de la Serna was born on June 14, 1928, in Rosario, Argentina. From an early age, he exhibited a strong sense of justice and a desire to help others. Despite battling severe asthma, he excelled in academics and sports. After completing high school, Che enrolled in medical school at the University of Buenos Aires. It was his motorcycle journey through South America with his friend Alberto Granado in 1952 that profoundly changed his life. Witnessing poverty, hunger, and disease across the continent, Guevara became convinced that only radical change could address these issues. Upon graduating from the University of Buenos Aires with a degree in medicine, Guevara embarked on a second journey across Latin America. This trip was crucial in shaping his political ideology. He traveled through countries such as Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador, El Salvador, and many others, witnessing the widespread poverty, social injustice, and political repression that characterized the region. These experiences deepened his conviction that only armed revolution could bring about meaningful change. In 1954, Guevara arrived in Guatemala, where President Jacobo Arbenz was implementing progressive reforms aimed at reducing the influence of foreign corporations, particularly the United Fruit Company. Guevara witnessed the US-backed coup that overthrew Arbenz, an event that had a profound impact on him. He saw firsthand the role of US imperialism in undermining progressive governments in Latin America. During his time in Guatemala, Guevara met Hilda Gardia, a Peruvian economist who introduced him to Marxist literature and later became his first wife. He also made contact with other exiled revolutionaries, including members of the Cuban July 26th movement. After the fall of Arbenz, Guevara sought refuge in Mexico. In Mexico City, he worked as a doctor and became more involved in political activities. It was here that he met Raúl and Fidel Castro, exiled Cuban revolutionaries planning to overthrow the Batista regime in Cuba. Guevara was impressed by Fidel Castro's revolutionary vision and leadership. He joined the July 26th movement, dedicated to the overthrow of Batista, and began intensive training in guerrilla warfare. In 1956, Guevara, along with the Castro brothers and other revolutionaries, set sail for Cuba aboard the yacht Granma. The landing was disastrous, and many of the revolutionaries were killed or captured. Guevara and the survivors retreated to the Sierra Maestra Mountains, where they began organizing a guerrilla campaign against Batista's forces. In the Sierra Maestra, Guevara quickly rose through the ranks of the Revolutionary Army. He proved to be an effective leader and strategist, participating in key battles and training new recruits. His leadership in the Battle of Santa Clara in December 1958 was instrumental in the ultimate success of the revolution. After the successful overthrow of Batista on January 1, 1959, Guevara became a prominent figure in the new Cuban government. He held various significant positions, including heading the Industrial Department of the National Institute of Agrarian Reform, President of the National Bank of Cuba, and later Minister of Industries. As a leading figure in the Cuban government after the 1959 revolution, Guevara was instrumental in establishing strong ties between Cuba and the Soviet Union. His Marxist beliefs and commitment to anti-imperialism aligned closely with Soviet interests, and he supported the presence of Soviet military aid in Cuba. His famous speech at the United Nations in 1964, where he denounced US imperialism and advocated for the rights of oppressed peoples, further cemented his reputation as a global revolutionary leader.
Esta disposición nueva de un continente de América está plasmada y resumida en el grito que día a día nuestras masas proclaman como expresión irrefutable de su decisión de lucha, paralizando la mano armada del invasor. Proclama que cuenta con la comprensión y el apoyo de todos los pueblos del mundo y especialmente del campo socialista encabezado por la Unión Soviética. Esa proclama es patria o muerte.
After resigning from his government positions in Cuba, Guevara went to the Congo to assist the Simba rebellion against the pro-Western government. Despite his efforts to train and support the Congolese rebels, the mission was unsuccessful due to internal conflicts and lack of local support. Guevara entered Bolivia in November 1966 to establish a guerrilla base and spark a continental revolution across Latin America. His efforts faced numerous challenges, including lack of local support and military pressure. Guevara was captured and executed in Bolivia in October 1967. Guevara's image, immortalized in photographs and popular culture, transcends borders and generations, inspiring countless individuals and movements striving for change. Guevara's belief in the necessity of armed struggle to achieve true liberation resonates with those who face systemic injustices, reminding them of the power of solidarity and the potential for radical transformation. His revolutionary spirit lives on, inspiring new generations to continue the fight for a more just and equitable world.